Alright, what's up guys? It is Tuesday night. We got the Warriors versus Mavericks coming up in about an hour. The Mavericks need them a W. But before the game, I'm doing my nightly work here, taking my notes, going through today's trades, and getting ready for tomorrow. And I wanted to talk squeezes with y'all real quick. So, we're going to look at a few setups here with a focus on the squeeze, and we'll look at a few monthly charts, we'll look at a few 15-minute charts. We'll look at some good stuff here, guys. So for starters, we've got XLE, the energy sector, and we've covered this for the last 10 to 12 weeks. And as far as structure goes, for now, guys, it's all still intact here for a continuation to the upside. So for now, the party goes on. We've got the daily buy signals, we've got the daily squeeze, but then if you look at your 2-day chart, there's a squeeze here on the 2-day time frame. There's also a squeeze on the 3-day time frame. So this is where you want to remember the rule of thumb with the squeeze. Once it fires, we're going to look for 5 to 10 bars of momentum in that direction. So where squeezes get really powerful is when you have that domino effect. Where for example, the 2-hour squeeze fires here, that could trigger 5 to 10 bars of momentum on the 2-hour time frame. Now imagine in the process that triggers the daily squeeze. Well, as a daily squeeze fires, we might look for 5 to 10 days of momentum, and then in the process of firing that bad boy, if you can then trigger the 3-day squeeze, you've got the potential there for 5 to 10 bars on the 3-day chart. So, in plain English, guys, energy still looks good here for one more hoorah. And speaking of squeezes, if you look at the monthly chart, we are currently in the process of firing a monthly squeeze. So we're kind of riding the wave of momentum that really started back here in, December, January. So as far as the big picture target here for XLE, and I think once it gets here, it's probably ready to roll over for a little bit, is going to be $90. We're firing a monthly squeeze. You've got pretty major level here at 90. Then you got the big hundo. But I think as far as getting towards 90, the punch that the 3-day squeeze could pack, along with that 1-day squeeze, the daily squeeze rather, it all looks good, guys, for more upside. So the game plan we're trying to work here until it all changes is buy the freaking dip in XLE, names like ExxonMobil, and names like Oxy. So as always, keep a close eye on energy. Then you've got UNG. Now UNG, if you look at the squeeze action here, nothing on the daily chart, nothing on the 4-hour chart, but you do have a 15-minute squeeze here. So a lot of the principles are very much the same. We get a 15-minute squeeze. Once that fires to the upside, we're looking for 5 to 10 plus bars of momentum. Granted, it's a lower time frame. Things are going to move a little bit quicker, but if you can find that clean 15-minute squeeze inside of an overall bullish trend, they can be great for short-term pops to the upside. See a little bit of that action back here. Just make sure your 15-minute chart fits the same criteria that you would apply to your daily chart. And y'all know we're working on these buy signals here. If you look at UNG, I got the 15-minute buy signals and a squeeze. Got my stacked EMAs. We are at the 21 EMA. And then my 30-minute chart here is going into a squeeze as well. So it's not something I'm going to take an entry for a 60-day till expiration debit spread. But as far as trying to catch a short-term pop, a little bit of a breakout here for a push towards 30-50, inside of a bullish trend, that's where that 30-minute, 15-minute squeeze with those buy signals can be pretty clutch. So energy, UNG, you got some squeeze action there. And then one more group here, guys, is the utility sector, XLU. Now you do have a daily squeeze here. The squeeze I want to focus on for XLU is going to be the weekly chart. No, let me correct myself here. No weekly squeeze, but the structure I want to focus on rather is the structure of the weekly chart. Compare this to, healthcare. Compare this to the financials, the industrials, the semiconductors, etc. This holds really good weekly structure. You get your dip towards that weekly 21. You never close underneath it. We have the stacked DMAs. This all lines up here for pretty good continuation. So with that good weekly structure, then we throw into the mix a daily squeeze. Then you start looking at a few of these utility stocks. Some pretty good stuff here, guys. So one that we took a position in today in the options room is XEL. And as far as the squeeze action on this end, we've got the weekly squeeze officially firing to the upside. We've got a big whopper of a monthly squeeze. So this goes from the monthly chart to the weekly chart to the 3-day squeeze to a 2-day squeeze to a daily squeeze with the buy signals to a 4-hour squeeze. So think of the potential domino effect here. The 4-hour squeeze fires long. There's a potential for 5 to 10 bars of momentum. In the process, that triggers the daily squeeze. And then in the process, that triggers the 2-day, that triggers the 3-day, that triggers the weekly. You got some pretty good potential there. So XEL, I think, should be on your buy the dip watch list here. And then if you look at a few more names about the utilities, you've got SO. Nice daily squeeze with the big 3 buy signal. You've got AEP. Nice daily squeeze with the big 3 buy signal. So there you have it, guys. A few spots to focus on, but working with the basic principles of the squeeze, they've all got the good structure, but more importantly, they're all lining up here, building up that momentum we need for a pretty good push towards the upside. So in an otherwise bearish market, we are focusing on XLE, UNG, US Oil, and a few of these utility stocks here to the upside. So for those of you in my mastery, we'll be live tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Central. Job number 1 tomorrow, depending on how it all opens here, is get a few positions in these AEPs and XELs. Then we shall see what the rest of the market brings us here, guys. But hope you all find that helpful, and as you're building your watch list tonight, and hopefully you're putting in a little bit of work here tonight, make sure you're looking for squeezes on multiple time frames, right, with the understanding of that domino effect. Bullish or bearish, if you can find a good structure, a good trend, with squeezes across 4 or 5 time frames, that can typically trigger a pretty big move. And once we release these sell and buy signals here shortly, should make our job a little bit easier. But alright, guys, I'm going to go get a glass of wine here, get ready for the basketball game. Hope you enjoy your night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning for pre-market prep. See you then.